It is 11 o'clock. Welcome back into Three-Man Front. Appreciate Mike Griffith joining the program, talking a little SEC, some college football playoff, as we continue to wait any kind of word about the college football playoff expansion after the Big Ten just absolutely just freaked everybody out by a 24-26 team model that they kind of threw up over the weekend. So we'll see if the SEC has any kind of statement there. Auburn, the big news this morning that they are now recognizing 9 national championships, not just the 2 from 1957 to 2010. So we will continue that conversation. Alabama was on the practice field this morning. Now they're going to be off the next 2 days. And this was actually, Landrum, the final time that media will have an opportunity to watch a little bit of practice. And that took place this morning. And good news on the defensive front, James Smith, who has been out the last couple weeks, he did not participate in Saturday's scrimmage. He was there at practice. And this is an interesting development. I brought his name up yesterday. I know Conrad kept bringing up Dre Washington's name, but as of right now, Kevin Riley is ahead of Dre Washington on the running back depth chart. And I brought that up yesterday, the outstanding running back from Tuscaloosa County. Richard Young was 1, Daniel Hill 2, Kevin Riley was 3, Washington was 4, and A.K. Deere from Mississippi, he was the next running back during the drills. Meanwhile, they're still trying to get, obviously, Jaden Roberts back into potentially that number 1 grouping with the offensive line. So that's what the media was able to observe earlier this morning in Tuscaloosa.
You know, it's something that Mike Griffith said when he joined it and talking about Justice Haynes and how nice that would be. We don't really think, Alabama's loaded with talent, obviously, in the running back room, but having guys with experience, it would have been nice to have had a Justice Haynes. You don't realize how much you appreciate them until they're gone. And I know when he left, it hurt, but you're never really thinking about the consequences. And it would be consequential right now for Kalen DeBoer in that offense, not having a veteran guy that you can lean on. So what are the skill sets? What do those other guys do well besides run the football? Do they block? They know the playbook.
Catch
How are
the
they
pass out of the backfield,
catching balls out of the backfield? All of those games they can be magnified, especially in an environment they're going to play. They're at Doak Campbell Stadium with Conrad shirtless there in the end zone.
Well, and I thought it was interesting because with some of the practice notes, like you were talking about there, Pat, it was mentioned that of all the receivers that did not participate, and this is just the drills that the media was able to see, but the one running back that didn't participate in the, I guess, receiving portion of the drill was Richard Young. So I don't know why that exactly was, if that's just not how they envisioned him being used in the offense, or if he was a little dinged up or something else was going on there. But no, being able to receive out of the backfield, and as we talked about yesterday, pass protection. I think that's what's going to be who can prove the most value as a blocker in pass protection. That's going to be the guy that ultimately you see get the most opportunities while Jam Miller's out, I would think.
So last night was the debut of Tiger Talk, the Auburn talk show that features Coach Hugh Freeze. He didn't really say a lot different than what you heard yesterday on the program. There was a couple of notes that he pointed out, which is really good news. If Auburn were to play Baylor today, everyone is available. So despite yellow jerseys being worn by a lot of wide receivers, kind of banged up a little bit, according to Hugh Freeze last night, everybody is good to go if they played today against Baylor. So that's good. Auburn could play 3 quarterbacks in the opener at Baylor. Freeze said yes to that question. Freeze says that Auburn freshman running back Omar Mapson II runs like Jarquez Hunter. And Mapson has had a really good fall camp. So if he is running like Jarquez Hunter, that says a lot because Hunter was an outstanding running back.
You hear buzz coming out of camp from young players, and I can remember we started hearing it about Jalen Waddle. Sometimes, and not in Jalen Waddle's case, you hear that buzz, and then it'll kind of simmer down and be like, he's just going to be a really good player. With Omar Mapson, that has been consistent, continuous with the praise that they have for that guy. He's going to find the playing field.
Yes.
You're going to see him this year.
Oh, yeah. I think you'll see him against Baylor.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he'll have the most carries at the end of the game on Friday, but I think he'll certainly have a role.
Yeah, there is no question about that. So we'd love to hear from you. I know the text line has been busting at the seams since this story broke this morning that Auburn. I just want to Landrum has not had an opportunity because Landrum was en route back and forth. Just your initial thoughts on this morning's announcement, if anything, if it means anything.
It doesn't mean a whole lot to me. If you're an Auburn fan and you watched the 2004 season, you watched the 1993 season, you know how special those teams were, and you can make the argument if they had played in a national title game. You can still make the argument they were the best team in the country, but if they'd played a national title game, they would have been national champions. But they didn't. But what you have is the 11 games in 93. You have the perfect season, the 13-0 in 2004. You have those memories. A sign or something on a scoreboard, I don't know if does that really change how you feel about that team? I don't think it does. I think Mike said it best. It's window dressing. This is for a media guide. If they still have those, I guess they do those. That's all it is. It's a media guide. It's something put on the scoreboard. It's for the people or for the kids, let's be honest, the recruits that you're attracting to the program that don't know the history, that you can say, look, this is a storied football program, not only what you saw in 2010, but we were doing it way before then. That's it. This doesn't change anything else in my mind.
Do you think more programs go back and do this now?
It's like when I ride by a restaurant or go to a restaurant, it says world's best biscuit. And I go in there and I'm like, yeah, that's a good biscuit, but I don't know if that's the world's best biscuit. It's still a good biscuit. I'm not going to burn down the restaurant or call my lawyer. That's fine if you want to put that up there. So yeah, those are just my thoughts on it. 1910, I have no idea.
I've said this before, and I don't know if they corrected it, but I do remember it when Alabama got in NCAA trouble, and they had to vacate. I think it was the textbook deal, whatever it was.
Yeah.
They were in trouble for so many things back then. I lose track. It was textbook. Okay, was it the Tuscaloosa suit guy? Was it Antonio Langham signing the napkin? Was it Gene Jelks? I mean, it all, Ronnie Cottrell, it all became, kind of blurry covering that every day. But my point being, they had to vacate some wins. And I remember the next year, I was very curious at SEC Media Days. I pulled out a bunch of the media guides, and I was looking to see if any SEC teams took credit for Alabama's vacated wins against them. Bama won on the field, but I just wanted to see if there would be one school that would adjust their media guide and say they got the win the previous year, although the NCAA doesn't recognize Alabama winning that game, and see which SEC team took advantage of that. Vanderbilt did. No other team in the SEC in that next year's media guide took advantage. I have no idea whether Vanderbilt has adjusted that and
retroactively taken away the.
I have no idea, but I can tell you for a fact that the very next year that the NCAA had told Alabama you have to vacate these wins on the field, Vanderbilt took advantage of it the very next year, but nobody else did.
I wonder if that was a clause in the current coach's contract, where his agent was fighting for it. And he's like, hey,
maybe got a bonus.
We need that win.
Yeah.
You got to give us that win. I don't know how that works in contract talks.
Yeah. 205-834-9450. That is the number to the Courtesy GMC text line. And we got a lot of folks wanting to weigh in on this subject and many others on this wonderful Tuesday morning.
This one says pre-AP UPI claims. I actually don't have a problem with that because they weren't widely recognized selectors, but AP, UPI are the only ones that should be claimed post-World War II. Claiming 93 and 2004 is laughable, Wesley and Chalkville. Thank you, Wesley.
Well, I brought this up before. Before 1936, there were 3 or 4 publications that was widely recognized as the leaders in choosing a national champion, okay? I mean, it might not meet the standards that we have today, but according to the NCAA official rule book, some of those that were indeed thought of as publications that was respected enough that they still recognize that is the College Football Research Association, Helms Athletic Foundation, National Championship Foundation, and then the AP started in 1936. So there were 3 organizations that the NCAA absolutely recognized for them declaring national champions.
Who was the magazine that recognized 2004 Auburn as national champion?
That was Golf Digest, but it was tongue in cheek.
Okay.
And the reason why is because, it was kind of a running joke, and so Golf Digest came out with a mock cover with Tommy Tuberville on the cover, then gave him a lifetime subscription to Golf Digest, and on the cover it said Auburn is number one.
That's worth something.
Yeah.
Because we played I had a liner that we aired on Feinbaum every single day, home of the 2004 Golf Digest national champions, the Auburn Tigers.
This one reads, playing devil's advocate, since USC had to give up the 2004 national championship, Auburn was number 2 while receiving first-place votes. Why shouldn't they claim it? I maintain that Auburn team, and you can argue with me until you're blue in the face. I know how talented that USC team was. That Auburn team was not going to lose a game. They had that chemistry. They had that it about them. But they're not recognized, I guess, by the BCS as your national champions from that year.
They should have played for it. There's no question. I mean, we debated that every single day on the radio. I mean, and the way Bob Stoops took shots at Auburn throughout the whole season. I mean, and that was before, obviously ESPN got in bed with the SEC, but it was a daily occurrence that Bob Stoops was on some national ESPN show that was absolutely trashing the SEC, trashing Auburn, because he was trying to put himself in a position to play for the national championship.
And they got rolled.
I was about to say, and they got
dominated. It was embarrassing.
Auburn would have definitely put up a better fight than they did.
Uncle Jerry from Hayden, the Barners are just being what they always have been, wannabes. Alabama was robbed in 66 and 77. We should go back and claim them. Undefeated in 66 and 77, Alabama creamed Ohio State, and Notre Dame jumped from 5th to 1st after beating Texas. Sam says, as a Bama fan, I'm claiming the 2017 national championship because Clemson beat Bama on an illegal pick play. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's the one that the Coley Matrix awarded Alabama that is a unclaimed.
Do y'all claim that one?
No, that's a joke. You played in the game, you lost. Regardless of
So that's not
legality.
one of the 25 you claim.
Well, yeah, no, it is because we're going based on the Auburn metric of claiming all the unclaimed ones.
Bama hater chiming in. If Bear had 6, Nick had 6, Stallings had 1, what's wrong with Auburn claiming championships if that doesn't add up to 18?
Because they won championships outside of those games.
The NCAA recognizes Alabama to have 15 national championships.
Yes.
Not 18. That's what they officially say now, right?
Correct. It's officially 15, and Alabama fans claim 18.
So that's why they have 18 on the side of their helmet on the logo?
Yes. Correct.
It's funny, the Barn claims these titles now after all these years of them making fun of Bama fans for claiming titles. And even still, are half the program Bama in 18 is greater than 9.
See, and if you're an Auburn fan, I feel like you almost don't want this to happen because that was one thing that you could hold over Alabama fans, right? As well, at least we don't claim fake national championships or illegitimate championships, whatever you want to call it. And now you can't say that anymore.
Jonathan, Auburn claiming those national championships is just sad, LOL. Just shows the state of their program is in right now.
So here's the fun part. So based on this, our current senator, Tommy Tuberville, who is running for now governor, he will be a national championship winning coach.
It's a good point.
That will be on his bio when he gets sworn in as our next governor.
When he's the governor, can't he officially have something written into the state record?
I would assume he can.
That
like
would
an
be my
executive
first order of business.
Do they go back and order rings for all the national champions? That's a lot of rings, a lot of diamonds you're going to have to pay for
Conrad,
7 rings.
It's not about the rings. It's about the parades. Are you going to have 7 different parades?
Or one giant parade?
And relatives of those members of the... I'm just assuming there's nobody that was on that team.
On the 1910 one? Yeah, probably not. Or 1913 or 14, probably not.
Get some great grandkids out there.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe some grandkids.
They have to do that now this year, right? You have to have something to honor these, at least some of these teams during halftime of one of these.
Do you have an
I'm sure they'll
unveiling?
have something.
You have an unveiling. I was telling Pat that this is the best news to whoever has the sign deal at Auburn. Like the contract for putting stuff on scoreboard outside of stadium. Maybe they'll pressure wash it now before you put up those new championship years.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Mike would love that.
This one reads, let's have 2 back-to-back 10-win seasons before you go claiming titles. It's only been 36 years, 88, 89. Well, that's not the argument, but I've got some apartment listings if anyone is interested.
Oh, thank you. It's wonderful.
As long as the BAMs claim the 1941 national championship, they got nothing to say. WDE. And of all the fan bases that can poke fun at Auburn for these claimed national titles, Bama is the absolute last one. They do the exact same thing. I just want to know, John Cohen, Auburn's athletic director, what discussions led this up? Has he been getting a lot of pressure from folks to say, hey, why aren't we doing this?
Yeah, I didn't realize that there's been an outcry.
No, I haven't heard it from any of my Auburn friends or family.
I will also agree.
And I'll tell you, this will absolutely change those people's day zero.
No, it will not. And I will say I do agree with the person that said 1941. I don't think Alabama should claim that one. You were 20th in the AP poll, 3rd in the SEC, but one poll out there had them number 1. So, yeah, that doesn't count. Doesn't count.
I was told if they didn't recognize these championships, then, roll Tide.
Well, that's the thing. Can we just all need to agree? Are we going to claim all of them or none of them? There doesn't need to be a middle ground. All or none.
Williams says the Auburn National Championship topic comes up every 10 years or so. Now they're finally claiming it. Like I said, I think that this is just something you can put on your media guide. It doesn't change anything. Really doesn't change history.
No. So what if Florida State a couple years ago, what if they declare, like, we should be national champions? The regular season, we finished undefeated.
Yep.
And
Michigan cheated.
And then we, our quarterback.
Right. I don't recognize them as a national champion, but if they want to claim it, I'll have fun with it on this show, but I'm not going to get hot and bothered by it.
No, if it makes them feel better, that's great. It's the same thing as the UCF thing. Nobody that legitimately follows college football considers that a national championship. But if it makes UCF fans feel better and like they're more relevant than they are, then
go and do it.
Then have at it. Enjoy it.
Go get your rings made, and you want to bring the guys back, have a composite picture there on the field, put on the pads. Who cares? Get it done.
See, and that one's even more illegitimate, right? Because like the Auburn in 2004, you have a better claim there.
So Conrad, out of one side of his mouth, says, "Yeah, you go for it. No problem at all." And then 5 seconds later, he's saying, "No, hold on a second."
Well, just if we're comparing and
he's
contrasting
just trying to get
the
FSU
different
Dave
ones.
riled up. That's all he's doing.
Yes.
No, I was talking about UCF. I think that.
I thought you were talking about Florida State.
Well, no, the UCF one. That's that they claim that. Am I not mistaken? Because they beat an Auburn team in a bowl game that beat Alabama and Georgia in the regular season, and that's who played for the national title. So that's why they claim that one.
By the way, FSU Dave has texted in. He says they will not claim the national championship for going undefeated in the regular season.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You say that now, FSU Dave.
Now,
you might not claim it, but they may get an AD in there.
But I'm curious how Florida State fans feel now that Auburn is claiming the 1993 national championship that Florida State won, that Diddy won.
Again, I mean, you could argue who was the better team. I guess we'll never know because they didn't go head to head. But it doesn't take away your national championship if you're Florida State.
No. And it also doesn't take away from the fantastic season that Auburn had. Like you said, it doesn't change how you remember those teams. You're still going to remember them the same because you watched it. You experienced it.
We will continue with your text, your calls. This is 3-Man Front on Jocks. Texts continue to roll in on this Tuesday. We are not at Social Taco. Had some technical issues this morning. We are in studio. We'll let you know when we will be back at Social Taco. A lot of discussion on Auburn now claiming 9 national championships. They had 2 before last night. This morning, John Cohen, the athletics director at Auburn, decides based on whatever metric he's looking at, he's now going to claim 7 more, which is completely fine. If you're wondering, the most claimed national championships, according to the NCAA rulebook, is the Fighting Tigers of Princeton. They have 28. Yale is second most claimed with 27. Alabama claims 18. Michigan 12. Notre Dame, Southern Cal 11. Auburn is now tied with Ohio State and Pittsburgh with 9. Harvard, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, and Oklahoma, they have 7. Tennessee and Michigan State have 6. And I was just going through the record book, and the first non-Ivy League team to win a national championship, and they started playing college football in 1869, was Michigan in 1901. So every year from 1869 to 1900 was basically an alternating Ivy League school, whether it was Princeton or Yale or Pennsylvania. That was the back and forth. But Michigan won the first non-Ivy League national championship. And by the way, Chicago won one in 1905.
Oh.
And some of those teams that you read off, like we're not going to go through all of their history, but some of those teams that I think we hear that number, like Tennessee with 6. I can't tell you all 6 seasons, but I know that there was some discussion at one time that they should only claim 2.
So according to the NCAA record book, Texas A&M won the 1939
There it
national
is.
championship.
There's
There
the
it
one.
is. Yep.
1938, Texas Christian won the Associated Press national championship. 1951, Tennessee. That was the first listed national championship for the Vols. They won the AP and the UPI.
I want to go back to John Cohen's statement about the standard set by the NCAA and accepted. What is that standard? Is that his interpretation of the standard based on some of the other teams that are recognized or claiming them?
Or was he told that they're about to change how they observe national championships, and this is about to be a bigger change to the record books that
Is this the NCAA?
maybe he
saying,
wasn't supposed to let it slip?
You don't think we still had teeth? Watch this. We're about to change all the record
You
books.
want a national championship?
Yep.
Here's 7 of them.
Yep. You
You're
better
like
play
Oprah.
nice. We'll dock you a natty.
So they won't take one away from Michigan, but they'll give Auburn 7.
Right? And the polls that we laugh at now used to be the only ones that decided a lot of these national championships that are recognized.
And also, I do want to point this out for the fairness of this conversation that we're having, that some of these national championships were awarded before a bowl game.
Yes.
And there were countless times that a national championship was awarded and that team lost in a bowl game.
Which is silly that they did that.
Just wanted to clarify that because I believe that has happened to Alabama.
It has.
Where Alabama has claimed a national championship, but then they went and lost a bowl game. So just
1967 Tennessee's national title. That's one that is they had 2 losses that season. And we're not in a college football playoff.
Now, what year did you say?
67.
Because according to the NCAA rulebook, 1967 Southern Cal won it.
Yeah.
And they had 4 publications, had them as the national champion. Who awarded Tennessee the national championship?
Don't know. But I'm going to this is what was this? This was all for Tennessee. This was back in 2018. Caleb Calhoun produced this. And it said, back then, it said currently Tennessee football claims 6 official national championships, 38, 40, 1950, 51, 67, and 98. To be fair to the other schools, the Vols don't have much business claiming the title in 67 since they had 2 losses.
So I'm just curious.
Then it goes on to say, however, given the fact that there are numerous other years they could go back and claim titles, we're going to take a look at some of the seasons and rank them by strongest, blah, 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 blah. But yeah. I'm just wondering on some of those titles. I remember Minnesota, they won back-to-back in the 30s, right?
Yes.
Early 30s.
Powerhouse.
It was a long time ago.
They won back-to-back-to-back. They won in 34, 35, and 36. 36 was the first year of the AP. The years before that, it was the National College Foundation and another 2 publications that honored them. In 1930, when Alabama claimed a national championship, it was a split natty between them and Notre Dame. In 26, when Alabama, that was a split natty between them and Stanford. But in 25, they were the only team that was recognized by the NCAA. to win a national championship. That was Alabama's first ever national championship, 1925. Remember the Rose Bowl.
I was about to say, wait, did you talk about 1934? Because that's one of the years with Minnesota where they split with.
According to the NCAA
Alabama.
rulebook, Minnesota is the only team recognized to win a national championship in 1934.
Yeah, see, this says three. I guess there were three places that gave it to Alabama because Alabama was 10-0 that year. Minnesota was 8-0. But yeah, the NCAA gave it to Minnesota.
John is in Mobile, listening to Jocks Mobile. Hey, John.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. So here's the thing about the championships and claiming them, and I am an Auburn fan, rabid. So I know that times are different now with social media and access to information and the digital world, yada, yada, yada. But I do distinctly remember the Alabama AD one year just decidedly adding 6 more titles because the program from the season before claimed 6 national titles, and the next season it was 12. And there is not one Bama fan in Alabama, in the country, or on this planet who doesn't have the number 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, or 17 tattooed somewhere on their body, right? They believe that all of those are legitimate, including the bogus 41 title that's there. There was a lot of them that were legitimate. I give it to them, right? They've been a great program for a long time. But they're not the only program that's been really, really strong and has a legitimate claim to a national title because, like you said earlier, there's been different agencies that claimed or awarded a national title for a very, very, very long time. So it's about darn time that the Auburn teams from the past, like that 93 team, I would have loved to have seen that 93 team play FSU. I would have given anything to see Tuberville's Tigers in 04 take on Reggie Bush because I guarantee you they would not have laid down like Oklahoma did. And those Iron Mike Donahue teams, I think one of those teams from back in the early 1900s only had 1 touchdown scored on them the entire season. So they're Princeton, Ohio State, Georgia, LSU. There's lots of schools that have had dominant teams that, based on their record for that season, probably deserve to claim one. And if you can get it, go get it.
1914, John. 1914. I don't think they allowed a point.
That might have been the season. Yeah, I can remember it was 1 touchdown or if they never got scored on at all. So, I mean, was anybody better that year? I don't know. I wasn't around. But it's about time that they actually – because we all know, hey, all the kids want to see is the bling, right? And 7 national titles or 9 or whatever it is we're claiming now is a heck of a lot better than 2, and we deserve it.
This is updating the sign on the front of your store if you're Auburn. That's what this is, right?
But you know what? The families of those players from way back in the day, now they can puff their chests out even a little bit more. Because I guarantee you that the families of the Alabama players, what was it, 82 or 81, when the AD added those 6, I guarantee you those players started puffing their chests out a little bit taller, and so did their families and friends. So
that's fair.
What goes around comes around. War Eagle, guys.
John, thank you. Appreciate the phone call. 800-239-WJOX, 205-834-9450 on the text line. We continue this fascinating and lively discussion on Jocks.
It is 11:35. Welcome back. This is 3-Man Front on this Tuesday. We are not at Social Taco. Hope to be back there very soon. Had some technical issues this morning, so we are in studio. We're taking your calls at 1-800-239-WJOX, the courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450.
Well, as we know, the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Train cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand for 11 consecutive years, and they're the official cooling partner here at Jocks. So go and find a comfort specialist near you at train.com.
All right, so our previous texter, and then we had a phone call just a moment ago, an individual, I think it was John in Mobile, I think that was his name, who was talking about Auburn claiming these national championships. So in 1983, the last page of the Alabama Media Guide, I'm sitting here looking at a copy of it as we speak, Alabama claims 6 national championships in 1983. In the 1984 Media Guide, they claimed 5 more national championships. So from 1983 to 1984, Alabama's official publication found 5 more national championships for Alabama.
Ray Perkins was hard at work digging through the history books, I guess.
And so they went back, and the sports information director at the time was Wayne Atchison. He had worked for a long time under Bear Bryant, and then when he came to Tuscaloosa to work for Ray Perkins, he was also the sports information director, and he went back and started looking through different record books. And these are all legitimate in regards to what his reasoning was. It was no fanfare. There wasn't a press release like Auburn this morning saying, "Hey, we're now going to recognize 5 more national championships." It was the sports information director doing a little bit of legwork, went back, found a Spalding football magazine that recognized Alabama as a couple of those national championships. And it's the same ones that the NCAA, by the way, they recognize now on their website. So, but they went from 1983, they had 6 national championships. In 1984, in their media guide, they had 11 national championships. And then what happened was when Bama won the 1992 national championship, then all of a sudden the university, then you saw the helmets with the 12s. Mm-hmm. And then after that, when Nick Saban started piling up national championships, that's why you kept seeing the logo change year in, year out. So that's what happened. Alabama's sports information director went back. He found, obviously, some publications that had given Alabama those additional titles. So that's how they went from 1984 having 6 national championships in 83, and then in 84 it jumped to 11. So, but again, there was no press release, there was no story, there was no fanfare that Alabama just proclaimed themselves 5 more national championships.
I was telling you guys,
media guide.
I guess you put out a press release, but what if they just had signed guy and girl?
Yeah, you just added the years
go
on
up
the
there,
scoreboard.
and when people get there for the first game, they go, "Oh wow, we're claiming these now.
Yep.
Cool." I guess you could have done it that way, but this seems to have gotten a lot more buzz doing it this way.
Yeah, no,
Thank you, John Cohen.
It certainly has. But hey, now Alabama and Auburn fans are just alike, right? You can't take shots at each other for, oh, well, you claim this title or you claim that title. We'll just say everyone claims their titles, and Alabama has 18 and Auburn has 9, and move on with our merry lives.
Find a new argument is what you're saying.
Yeah, because that was the one thing that Auburn fans could hang over the head of Alabama fans, and rightfully so. And if you still want to nitpick, we've had a couple people call out 1941, which, yeah, that's probably not, a year that I would claim as a title if I were the University of Alabama based on what they accomplished and having losing 2 games that year. But,
hey,
yeah, that argument's now gone if you're an Auburn fan because you both claimed the unclaimed titles.
Cam jersey retirement is going to come against Georgia. Does Auburn recognize these national championships Iron Bowl?
That'd be funny if they did that.
Really fun.
I would applaud them if they did that, actually.
And you're not going to do it against Ball State.
No. That'd be those are 2 big games there if you want to do Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah, a little levity.
Be something.
Most college football historians, and I'm talking about the Keith Dunovits of the world and people, I think back to the 150-year anniversary of college football. Remember the series that they did on ESPN? Ivan Mizell, he's a great college football historian as well. I was reading an article during one of the commercial breaks, and it was talking about how before 1936, when the Associated Press poll started awarding national champions, college football was a very regionalized sport, and nobody really cared at all. Everybody was claiming whatever. And so there was not some nationwide system that would award a national champion until the Associated Press in 1936, and it was a very well-respected organization when they started looking at everything from a national perspective as opposed to all these other polls that we've been talking about that up until 1936 was spread all over the place in regards to who they thought was the national champion.
And there's a lot of theories on how you influence votes back then with certain voters, whether it was your drinking buddy or whether it's you sent a nice box of cigars that you knew that they liked with a personalized note that said, "Hey, we'd appreciate your vote. Enjoy the sticks." I'm sure that went on.
The 1941 Alabama National Championship, which, by the way, is not in the NCAA record book, but I think Alabama claims
the university
this one.
claims it, but
Which
the
one is
NCAA
this?
does not.
This is the Houlgate, Houlgate.
1941.
1941. This was an analytical ranking of teams created by Deke Holgate, whose rankings ran from 1927 to 1958 and were published in newspapers and magazines.
Would that have been during the war?
Yeah, 1941.
Yeah.
Alabama finished the season 9-2 with losses to Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. Alabama beat some quality teams, but with 2 conference losses and no SEC title, not to mention a final AP ranking of number 20 before the Cotton Bowl, it's a large leap to expect others to recognize Alabama as the 1941 national champion.
Yeah, no, that one, I cannot make any argument for that. I can't. It shouldn't be a national championship. I don't know how, again, the Hooley whatever poll that gave it to him.
Hoolgate.
No.
Yeah, they got cigars.
That one doesn't, yeah, they did. Yeah, that one doesn't.
And some brandy.
That one doesn't count, but I guess we'll take that one instead of 1966. Call it if you want to split it.
Which one's the missing ring?
66.
66, okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's the book that Keith Donovan wrote.
Yep.
The Missing Ring, 1966.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, there are some people really upset about this. Man.
See, and that's a great thing is
This should have happened 2 months ago.
exactly. It should have. It would have been a great talking
Why didn't
point
John
2
Cohen
months
do
ago.
this 4 months ago or 2 months ago?
Right?
I mean,
this and the Cam Newton thing, like you can't tell me that these just both magically appeared on the same day or within 24 hours.
well,
of
it's
each other.
misdirection because Hugh Freeze keeps stepping on himself with some stupid quotes. So
I, for
Word
one,
choice has not been great lately.
I personally am excited to watch all 3 quarterbacks against Baylor. I don't know about y'all.
a one on every down.
Well, yeah, different one for each play caller, right?
By the way, I don't know if you saw this.
There's got to be a formation that features all 3.
Lane Kiffin struck last night at 10:27.
Of course he did.
Did you see Lane? Yeah, 10:27 last night. He quote tweeted with the fire emoji. Reddit College Football had tweeted out, this year Auburn will have 3 different play callers, 3 different quarterbacks. That's a potential 9 play caller quarterback combinations. Absolutely impossible to mess up. And Lane Kiffin quote tweeted that.
Gotta love Lane.
God, I wish Auburn and Ole Miss played this year so bad.
Right?
Ugh.
I hope Austin Simmons is good, Lane.
Yeah,
Because you got a lot riding on your road scholar at quarterback.
yes, he does. It's Lane Kiffin. What do you expect?
Exactly.
So will you be able to buy a Nike T-shirt now
That has all the
somewhere in
natties.
Auburn that has all the national championships?
Mm.
If they don't, they're missing a great
Well,
marketing
they should have had
opportunity.
them ready to go this morning. Like,
Absolutely.
go to the store right now, and you can get your Auburn Nike national championship.
I guess
shirt.
Auburn fans, they still have Tiger Rags, the place where you could get the T-shirts.
I don't know.
If they do, those should have been printed this morning.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Go and set up a pop-up kiosk right there in front of Sanford Hall.
I'm right there with you. That would have been a great business opportunity. But hopefully they'll have them ready for the season at least, because that would really be a missed opportunity.
We will get back to your calls. Calls are coming in along with a long list of text messages. That's next on 3-Man Front. $11:48. Welcome back. This is 3-Man Front, 1-800-239-WJOX, courtesy GMC text line 205-834-9450. Kyle Umlang, if you follow him on Twitter, he is a noted University of Texas guy. I mean, he absolutely loves going after Texas A&M, the Mary Milkman, and stuff like that. I mean, he is absolutely Texas burnt orange through and through. He just posted on Twitter a moment ago. He quote tweeted one of the stories about Auburn claiming more national champions. And so he's done a little homework. And he points out back in 1958, Auburn went 8-0-1. They didn't play a single ranked team all season and finished 4th in the Associated Press poll. For reference, he points out that number 2 Iowa went 8-1-1 and played 6 ranked teams, number 4, number 6, number 8, number 15, 16, and 16 twice, winning 5 of those games against these 6 ranked teams.
Big Ten schedule, Pat. Come on.
He says, this should not be legal. That is, Auburn is claiming the 1958 national championship.
Again, this should not be legal. How does that hurt? Don't recognize it.
I was about to say, doesn't
Don't
affect
recognize
anything.
it. How does that hurt you?
The only people that this affects are the Auburn fans.
There are
that
people
choose to
so
recognize it.
butthurt over this.
Yeah, it
which
doesn't-
is great for us.
Well, what's great is, guess what? All of the people that are arguing about this, none of us were alive for 80% of these championships that they're claiming. Like,
I want.
it doesn't matter.
Do you want to go back and do a deep dive into the 1914 football season and compare and contrast those teams?
I do not personally want to do that.
What's interesting is a lot of these teams, they didn't play any of the same people
No.
because it was so regionalized. You weren't taking a 5-week road trip to Eugene, Oregon.
No, you got on a train. And whoever you could end up playing. I mean, heck, I think Alabama, the first few years they played football, they played like what, West End High School?
Yeah.
Over Birmingham?
And you were efficient with your resources too. If that train was going to make that, all right, we'll stop here, we'll play. And guess what, guys? We're not concerned about your safety. We're going to play 2 days later.
Didn't Joe DeLeonard tell us, or maybe it was Mike Newton or Gerald Watkins at Rickwood, that didn't Alabama play Birmingham Southern at Rickwood Field?
I think so.
In football
Yeah.
in the early days?
Yep. That 1914 team, if you're just joining the show, went back through the schedule. In the second game of the season, Auburn played a
Team out of Hamilton.
Yeah, it was an agricultural institute or
So
something.
this was a great stat that I saw. I think it was SEC Unfiltered. Yeah, they were sharing this weekend. So these are the first ever wins for each SEC football program. So for Alabama, they beat Birmingham High School in 1892. Arkansas beat Fort Smith High School in 1894. 1881, Kentucky beat Transylvania. I don't know if that's
Yeah, it's a school. That's a college.
the country or not. Let's see. You had Missouri. Their first win came in 1890 against the engineering students. That's just what they were called.
the engineering students.
Yeah, that's just what they
At
were called.
Mizzou, they just had their own team.
Now Auburn's was 1892, and their first win came against the University of Georgia.
Oh,
But you have, I mean, there's a number of examples where you can go through, and like Oklahoma, their first win, 1896, Norman High School. You know, you just go back all this time, and it's much different. It was much different.
I've now fallen in love with this Auburn 1914 team because I'm going through their schedule.
That's the one that didn't give up a single point, right?
That is correct. They had Marion, week 1, 39-0. 4th District Agricultural School out of Hamilton, Alabama, 60-0. Then the schedule does beef up. At Florida, 20-0. Clemson, 28-0. Mississippi A&M, 19-0. At Georgia Tech, 14-0. Vandy in a squeaker at Rickwood Field, 6-0. Tied to Georgia, and then versus Carlisle at the end of the season, 7-0.
I mean, we can say what we want. I don't care who you play. It's impressive that you don't give up a single point in an entire season, regardless of who you're playing. Not saying that means that that's the criteria for claiming a national championship, but that is remarkable.
I don't think 4th District is still around, the agricultural school.
I don't either.
Marion Military is.
it is.
Let's get to your phone calls. Quickly, let's go to Redbone.
Hey, man, what's going on?
What's happening?
Hey, look here, a 2-time back-to-back champ. How can you dethrone them when they won something on the field besides what's going on? What's going on the field ain't got nothing to go on with politics and nothing like that. So since we claiming, going back, we claiming this and that, you talking about you got that, but what about a team that showed that they won it in 66? So give up the missing rain. Hello?
Are you talking about Alabama or are you talking about Notre Dame that year? What are you?
No, I'm talking about Alabama because Notre Dame and Michigan State tied, didn't they?
Yes.
Yes.
And Alabama won it 2 years back, won it back-to-back and was going for a three-peat.
Yeah, no, I mean that is I think
you,
that is a legitimate year where you have Alabama fans, and that's kind of why I made the joke of, well, okay, we claim 1941, but not 1966, and 1941 I don't think you have a claim to, but 1966 I think you legitimately do.
Let's go to Larry. Hey, Larry.
Hey, guys, enjoy the show. Great commentary right now because I love football history. But my question to you is this, guys. Obviously, with Saban's dynasty that he had, but I just want to throw this question at you and think about this for a while. With Bryant's years, when you were talking earlier, Pat, you said that was from 83 to 84. Those 6 championships that they were claiming, Do you know what years they were claiming in those 6? Just curious.
Let's see. Hold on. I might have that.
Was it Bryant's 6 championships? I was wondering that because, of course, shortly after that, they went up and said that we had 12 or whatever. I was just curious.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the media guide. It just says they have, let's see. They had 18 SEC championships, 6 national championships, 24 consecutive bowl games, 4th in all-time NCAA victories. That was in the media guide for Alabama in 1983.
Question I have. The next professional team says we don't want to go to the White House. Does Auburn go?